Welcome to Life Academy's final episode on redemptive parenting. In the first episode, we talked about how redemptive parenting starts with Jesus. Second, redemptive parenting changes us as parents. Third, it changes our children. And finally, redemptive parenting ends with God's glory. So I don't know if you've ever actually thought about this, but what is your goal for parenting? Is your goal a retirement plan? Is your goal for them to get through to a good college? What is the goal for you as a parent? What, again, as we talked about in the first episode, what is your goal as a team for your children? The Bible tells us that our goal is God's glory. That is why we're created, that is why we're made, and that is why we exist. In glorifying God, we find our greatest satisfaction, that we find our greatest enjoyment, that we enjoy our best life when we glorify God. And glorifying God is what we were made to do. The Bible tells us that we are to shine God's light. Jesus said that I am the light of the world, and then he also tells his disciples that you are the light of the world. This world walks in darkness. There is great darkness. In such a divided time, there is great darkness. And we, brothers and sisters, are the light of the world. Now that is a very exclusive claim that God made. That Jesus said, I am the light. There's no secondary lights, there's no tertiary lights, that he is the only light. And yet it's also an inclusive statement. He says, I am the light of the world, the whole world, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. And we, as sons and daughters, as redeemed children of God, we get to share that news with a world that so desperately needs it. And the Bible also tells us in John chapter 15 that as disciples, we're to bear fruit. That we're to bear good fruit as followers of Christ. In fact, Jesus said that his disciples will be known by the fruit that they bear. You know an orange tree because it bears oranges. You know an apple tree because it bears apples. You know a Christian because they bear good fruit, fruit of the Spirit, like Galatians 5:22 says. That we bear the fruits of the Spirit in keeping with righteousness. And not only is it what we're made to do, that also gives us great significance. As I talked about, that what you do matters. Cleaning up after that mess. Wiping a bottom for the 150th time of your life. Changing diapers. All those things might seem inconsequential, but they matter to our God. God sees what you do. That even in those things, those sacrificial actions, that God is glorified. It's what we were made to do. It gives him glory, it gives him honor, and it gives us satisfaction. The redemptive parenting has a long-term view. Not just this moment, not just this day, this week, this month, this year, 2020, this wild year that it's been, but has an eternal view in redemption. That our children, that we have a view that our children will be in relationship with us, and our children will be in relationship with God. This is our hope. This is the goal of redemptive parenting. That our children, that we as families will give God glory, because that's what we are called to do. And that's where we will find our greatest joy and our greatest significance. So as we close this series, we all need help. Parenting is such a challenge. It's such a wild adventure. It's, again, highs and lows, ups and downs, mountaintops and valleys. But we have help. Not just from a book or a self-help guide, but from the God of the heavens and the earth, the one who created you, the one who created your kids, we can seek Him for help. And in these last 4 episodes, you've probably heard the word framework more than you probably have in your whole life. And why do I keep talking about redemptive parenting as a framework? The Bible says to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How you think about yourself as a parent. If you think about yourself as a failure, if you think about yourself as a parent as all the ways that you've messed up, we need to be transformed in that thinking to know that we're blameless. If your thinking is that, man, my children need to get changed, my children need to be different, I need to control my kids, I need to really change them, I need to work hard to do this. We need to be transformed by that notion that God does not desire them to perish, that God is in fact drawing them to Himself, that we trust God. Though we're being intentional, we ultimately trust God with changing our kids. And this is why the Bible says that we need to be transformed not by what we do necessarily, but by the renewing of our mind. To know and know that we know that we have been redeemed as sons and daughters of God. What you are doing matters. And what you are doing, God sees. So may you be transformed by the renewing of your mind. May this redemptive parenting framework change you. Through it, may God change your children, and may He positively impact the communities that He has placed you in. God bless you.